Guys, welcome back. Long time no see. I didn't realize I hadn't made a video in like 5 months, so it's been a while. A few things have happened around here. I've been doing a bunch of work to this thing, and the cool thing is it rolled on its own weight this past weekend. I got all the suspension components in and bolted in for the most part. I got a bunch of stuff to tell you about a few things. First up, I had a Team Z K member that I showed in the one of the last videos. I think in the overview video, I had a Team Z K member. That's gone. I have a, you can kind of see it in there. I have a Maximum Motorsports. I got a Maximum Motorsports K member. Turns out the Team Z, which these apparently are designed on purpose like this, they have offset rack mounts on them. So I got the whole front end all put together, got the rack in, got everything bolted up, and centered the rack, and then hooked up the tie rods and everything and turned it, and the left front tire was turning like 15 degrees, and the right front tire was like it was way offset to one side. The steering was, because I made the tie rod lengths, like the threads on the tie rods, equal on either side. That's what I did, and then centered the rack with the steering wheel, and it was so horribly offset that. And I couldn't figure out why for a while. And finally I posted in one of the Fairmont groups, and then another guy, a bunch of people were like, oh, it's operator error, and they all accused me of putting it together wrong. Finally, one dude chimed in and said the rack mounts are offset. And so that explained everything. So I don't know why anyone would want asymmetrical bump steer on the front end, which is exactly what was happening with that. So anyway, the Team Z unit came out and I sold it on Marketplace. And I got the Maximum Motorsports unit, which is a way better unit and a way stronger unit anyway. So it's like top notch, top quality. So I got the MMK member, and I got their rear lower control arms, and I got their bump steer kit for the front too. So I had the 94, 95 spindles on the front of this, which I didn't realize at the time, but you're only supposed to use those if you're using a stock K member. And so I sold all that stuff and got the later model, like 96 plus spindles, and put on here. And anyway, it's all worked out now, and the Maximum Motorsports stuff is like top notch and really nice stuff. It's all powder coated and really cool. So if you are having problems with your Team ZK member, that's why. It's because they, for whatever reason, and I emailed Team Z, I'm like, hey, this thing's not lining up, whatever, and they like didn't even reply to my email, so that was even more reason to get rid of it. And Maximum Motorsports customer service was absolutely top notch. So anyway, long story short, I got MM stuff in now, and it's pretty awesome. This over here, so I didn't realize this when I bought this motor. I bought it and shoved it in the corner of the shop, but this is an LC9. This is an aluminum 5.3, and I did not realize that. So I got that motor for $250. The guy said it had 120 or 130,000 miles on it. It was out of an 07 Yukon, and so it had an AFM lifter failure. And their mechanic convinced the guy that he needed a whole new motor. So he pulled the motor out, or the mechanic pulled the motor out, and the guy kept it. And then he finally sold it on Marketplace. So I got a factory aluminum race motor for $250. I mean, there's still crosshatch in the cylinder walls. Like, it's in awesome shape. So that should work good. I also have on here, this is a goat-built alternator mount, high mount on the passenger side. And then this is a Gen 5 Camaro water pump, which has the truck spacing on it, as you can see. So, and then this is the tensioner that goes on here. like that. So, oh, I got the nut on there. That's why it wouldn't go on. So I have to figure out an idler for on this side over here, which is going to be a mount that also helps mount the turbo off this side, because I'm doing the turbo on the driver's side of the engine compartment over here. And this is my foam mock-up block, and then I also have you can't really see it, but I've got a mock-up 480E in the underneath too. But yeah, I'm going to run everything on all the turbo stuff on the driver's side, run the exhaust down that side there. And then that way I can have the alternator and have room for my air conditioning and like everything, all my accessories and stuff on this side too. So, and then I ended up picking up these are Hooker Blackheart cast manifolds, because I needed a manifold that dumped in between the motor mount and the back of the air conditioning compressor. And so I did a ton of looking, and these actually weren't bad price. These were like under $400 for the pair. So that's not, I didn't think that was too bad. So then I'll do it down and a crossover underneath, and then my turbo manifold or mounting plate, flange, whatever you call it. It's going to be about right here. And then turbo exhaust will go down, and this isn't set in the right place, but then my turbo, I'll have the outlet on the turbo is 4-inch, so I'll neck it to 3.5, and then 3.5 will actually slip down there in between the steering shaft and the K-member, and then I'll run 3.5 all the way out the back. So that is that. You can see a pile of wiring here. That's all my Terminator X stuff. I decided to bring the Terminator wiring through the firewall on the passenger side because it was just too tight on the driver's side over there. There was just not enough room to do it. So I brought it through on this side, and then I am actually mounting my Terminator. You can see right underneath here, I'm mounting the Terminator on the bottom side of the HVAC box so that it's kind of tucked up and out of the way, but I can still get to it if I need to. So that'll be convenient to have that there. I got, this is my B&M. This is a Pro Stick, I think is what it's called. I can't remember. I got a Summit. You can see I printed my own custom scales for the side of it there. And I also, designed my own shift gate for it for the 4-speed, because it comes with a 3-speed gate. So I designed my own 4-speed gate for it that actually acts like a normal, like street-driven automatic, because the ones that come with it, you can bump shift between 1 and 2 back and forth, and then you have to grab the handle to go to 3rd and 4th, and then it's got the stupid reverse lockout on it. And so I deleted the reverse lockout, and then yeah, so this is the original 3-speed version. You can see it's got, see if you can get behind that so you can see that. So yeah, it's got like, it's the way that they gate them is really weird. It's like locked into, you like have to pull the handle. Basically how I feel it should be is like in a normal street automatic, if you pull it all the way down to first, you should be able to bump all the way to neutral and then pull the lever to go to reverse and pull the lever to go to park. And so that's how I designed it. So that should work pretty good. Oh, this is another little detail here. So I got a washer bottle off of a later model Mustang to put it inside the fender instead of in the engine compartment and get it out of the way. That's my Volvo steering, power steering stuff there. I've got a video on all the scanning and all the CAD work I did for that. So go check that out if you want. I got some 235 45 17s all the way around. So these are just some cheapos I got from some local tire shop. They're gonna get turned into smoke, pretty sure. So I didn't want to spend a bunch of money on them. Let's come over here to the part shelf. and I've got all kinds of stuff over here. So here is my goldenrod. What is this? 20%? No, it says 10 micron. So this is like the tractor style 10 micron filter I have for the fuel system. And then this is my, and then I got a Russell pre-filter, and then a PQY fuel pressure regulator. So all that will go up underneath the back of the car somewhere. What else do I have? Transmission mount, bunch of little pieces and parts and stuff here and there, and then I got a whole tub of dash 8. I'm running dash 8 feed, dash 6 return. I got oh, this is kind of cool. I got a Bluetooth little stereo, just basically a knob that's got play, stop, skip, track on it. So that'll be kind of nice. What else? Oh, I've got my headlights refurbished down here, my headlight buckets. I'll try and show you that. So I've got LED headlights in those, and I cleaned and scrubbed and put new hardware and everything, and repainted everything so it was all nice and clean. And basically anything that's come off the car, I've cleaned it or wire brushed it or painted it or some combination of all three of those. So let's come back here, and I've got so I put my little hatch in the trunk here to go right above the fuel pump hat in the tank. So I put my own, or I found a fuel level sender that would work with what I was, the space I needed it to fit in, and then I built my own fuel pump hat and mount for the pump and everything. So that's got a Walbro 450, and then it's got, of course, dash 8 and out and dash 6 return. And then that fits down in the stock area for the, because this is 79, so wasn't fuel injected from the factory. So like 84 or 85 and the Fox LTDs, they came with the same shaped tank, but they had the provision for the electric fuel pump hat in the top of the tank. So I got a FC2 tank is what they're called. So I got an FC2 tank because the tank that was in here was crusty as shit and was full of garbage. So I got rid of it and got a new tank and designed my own pump hat and pump mount and all that stuff. So, and this will be interesting on this thing. So I got new LS7 lifters, and I got new rockers, and I got new lifter trays and push rods from a place called Michigan Motorsports. And I assumed that all these places, like those guys in BTR and all that, they were all like genuine, like GM LS7 lifters because they were a Delphi brand, but I guess that's not the case. I didn't know that until after I bought all this stuff. So this whole top end is all Michigan Motorsports. So I've heard, you know how it is on the internet. So I've heard people say, "Oh, I bought Michigan Motorsports stuff, and I've been running it for 5 years without a single failure. Everything's fine." And then there's a bunch of people that are like, "I put their lifters in, and they lasted 2 weeks, and I had to swap them all out." So who knows? This thing is only going to be like maybe at the very most 15 psi on the turbo. I mean, I'm going to be pump gas only, so I'm not going to go like turn it all the way up. It'll be like 550 to 600 horsepower at the very, very most. So I'm not super worried about it, but we'll see how long they last. Man, what else do I have to show? Man, I think that's about it. Oh, this is a nice new toy here. So I caught Prime Weld on a sale last November, December, I think. and oh, Black Friday sale, yeah. So I got one of their Cut 50D plasma, and then I got their 225X TIG machine on sale. They were like, I don't even know, like 20% off or 15% off or something. So it was a pretty good deal. So I ended up buying both of those, and then I got the big Harbor Freight Vulcan triple cart so that I could have the MIG on there too. So I think I showed this in the last video, but I want to show it again because I'm really proud of that. Those are my late model HVAC controls there. I think that looks pretty good. So, oh, and then something else. Seats and upholstery. So I found a full set of seats. Let me get back here so you can kind of see that. There's a seat. This is out of like a 81 Zephyr, I think, that I saw at the junkyard. So I got the front buckets, and then I also got, you can see on the shelf over there, the entire back seat as well. So I started calling local places, checking on, what it costs to reupholster stuff. And apparently I'm way out of touch on what that shit costs, because a bunch of upholstery shops told me to reupholster those front buckets each with no foam work, because these are old, worn out, foam in these things, 40 years old. It was like $1,200 a seat per seat, and I was like, man, that seems like a lot of money to me for one seat. And then most of these places were booked out like 9 months, and so I'm like, I'm not going to wait that long, and I'm not going to pay that much. So I found a company called TMI, makes upholstery kits. And they make upholstery kits for the early Mustangs, which are a different upholstery pattern. And they also make the foam kits. So you can buy brand new foam and the upholstery for those. So I got all of that, new foam and upholstery, front and rear, for like just under $1,200, I think, for everything. So anyway, that was awesome. And it's a nice, it's called Wedgwood blue, but it's like a two-tone blue that matches the blue interior that I have. So I'm pretty excited about that. So basically the whole interior is going to be new top to bottom, except for like the door cards. Those are factory, but they're in good shape. I just cleaned them. And then, so the headliner is going to be brand new. Dash is resprayed and new. Seats, new carpet, new rear seat, new rear deck. All the plastics are getting re-dyed, because I got the other lighter blue color. Actually, I got it sitting right here. I got the SEM light blue dye to dye the rest of the lighter colored plastics in there. And then the whole entire drivetrain is all going to be brand new too, because I've got, I don't know if you can see, but I'm going to try and show you here. So I've got, you can't really see in there, but I've got the big dog 330 millimeter Cobra front discs with the dual piston PBR style calipers. And then I've got the big SVT Cobra R rotors on the back, which are the bigger Cobra rotors, and brand new calipers and everything on there too. So the only thing that's not going to be new on the rear is the actual rear end itself. Some genius welded a factory Ford clutch style limited slip. So whoever that guy is, I mean, he's kind of an idiot, but whatever. So it's going to have a locked rear diff for the first while, until I can afford to get, and it's like, I think it's 307 gears in it. So I'll run that until I save up and get enough to do like 355s with like a Torsen style limited slip, like a True Track or something. So anyway, basically the whole entire bottom is going to be new. The whole drivetrain is going to be new. The interior is going to be new. And then it's going to have the kind of the old-ish, crusty looking exterior. So it'll be kind of a cool sleeper. I may try and cut and buff the paint too, but we'll see. So this video is getting way too long. It's like 20 minutes of me talking and going on and on and on. So anyway, that's it. And I'll try to make videos more often than every 5 months on this thing. Catch you next time.